Hi everybody, John Hand here, and the movie of the day is Begotten. Begotten is a film that's almost impossible to describe. A silent, black and white film produced around the late 80s, finally released on video in the early 90s. The directorial debut of Elias Marriage, the director of Shadow of the Vampire. It's kind of like a story of a telling of like this kind of a myth of a birth, death, and rebirth. That's kind of the quickest way I could describe it. But it presents itself as this totally uncompromising. You could almost see it as kind of a metaphysical horror film. There are moments of violence. There are moments of birth. There are moments that you could characterize as just kind of rank experimental stuff. You know, somebody who's seen Andalusian Dog too many times. Yet there is also some of these powerful moments that just... The photographic quality of this film is incredible, where it looks like something that was shot from 1910, 1920. The film was manipulated on an optical printer, and it was every shot was carefully, the density of the black and white image was carefully altered, and there's all these photographic effects, and it just looks like some kind of silent film from the turn of the era, but it has all of this, you know, I spent like a long time, I spent a whole podcast wrestling with this film and trying to come to a meaning. And actually probably this movie of the day is more of an advertisement for that podcast. But the film, oh my God. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a movie you sit down with, and it's a scary movie to watch alone in the middle of the night. It's very... You get this... It's very much a film like Eraserhead. It's almost like the silent film, you know, D.W. Griffith version of Eraserhead, though Eraserhead was the earlier film. But it's like Eraserhead in that it creates this world that you feel is just going on, and you're just like... You're watching it, but the film goes on even after you stopped watching it. The world of Begotten doesn't wait up for you. It doesn't care if you're watching it. It somehow still goes on and exists, you know, beyond you. And that's a real scary. It's a world building, but in a very scary way, because the world of Begotten, where you barely ever even see a human face. It's all of these figures shrouded in cloaks and this very odd garb that you can barely make out in the black and white imagery. It's very experimental, very avant-garde, very difficult film to watch, but it has a sensibility to it that's very kind of scary and could also appeal to horror film fans. So Begotten, oh my God, you know, our movie of the day. I don't even think the film's been ever re-released on DVD, because it was released on VHS in the early 90s, then re-released on DVD around 2000, 2001, around the time of Shadow of the Vampire by World Artists Home Video. And that's pretty much it. And the video, it's been out of print for some time, and but definitely worth tracking down, especially that DVD that had a pamphlet with an interview with the director, which was very long and thorough and goes through the entire process of the making of the film and everything. A special movie, a movie unlike any other film you've ever seen, Begotten. Incredible.